thoughts lately?
I just let you in my head to hear my thoughts lately.
All right, y'all. Welcome to another edition of RSG Live at the Lounge. You know, this has been a great series for us. We've had some incredible folks as part of this. Our most recent interview we did with Don Krim, who played for the Virginia Cavaliers back in the day, played with Don Staley from Philly. She's now Secretary Krim. And so definitely go to realsportsguys.com and check out these interviews. It's been incredible. You know, I think about our time here on our platform. I think the last student athlete we had on here was Fred VanVleet, back when he played at Wichita State. And you know how that ended up. And so I get excited because most of y'all know my work and the work I do in higher ed, and a lot of my interest is in what's happening with student athletes. I just get around them. There's so much they do. And I love to, you know, a lot of our platform is about sharing stories, and I love when I have an opportunity to share a story. And this one came about, and I have to say this up front. This is a personal one because many of y'all know, I probably hinted to this, that, you know, I have this niece who plays basketball and who played at Indiana. And now she is going to be having her debut album come out. She's gifted, and we're going to have a good time talking about this. And so I want to welcome to the lounge. Y'all got to give us a warm welcome to N.E.L Wilson, the artist known as N.E.L. What's up? How you doing?
What's up? How you doing, man?
I'm feeling good. This is like, you and I have talked about this, and this is like, you know, it makes everything I've done in RSG like all worth it to be here at this moment, especially at this special moment that you have going on. In fact, your album will be released. Your studio album will be released tonight at 12, or well, really tomorrow morning at 12 a.m.
Yeah,
It starts. Are you excited?
man, it's crazy. I've been working on this pretty much all year for real. So I think like it's remarkable to be sitting here like, oh, it's about to come out. You know?
So let's talk about how your interest evolved in music. We'll talk about the role that athletics has probably played in your life, but talk about how it's evolved and got to this point. Like, where did you know that like music is something that was part of your calling?
I feel like other than basketball, music's always been something that I've like had a deep love for. I would say like even when I was young enough, not even talking, my mom saying like, oh, you used to just be in the backseat bobbing your head. You knew what good music was, and if it wasn't good, you knew what bad music was. Like, you know. So like since I've been younger, I've had a deep love for it, and over time, it's always like people are surprised about how much music I love, and it's never like I'm not set in one genre. So yeah, I'm not set in one genre, so I love all types of music. You'd be surprised what type of music I listen to. Anything that sounds good in my ear is how I describe it. Like, I love it.
I think, you know, even the songs that you play for me, you and I have talked about it. It's like there's a fresh kind of you know, the way in which you also in a way, in a time of a lot of digital production, you know, you also have an ear for live instruments as part of your music. It almost feels like, I told you, it's like in some ways you kind of back to the future with it, in a way that you might hear KRS-One talk about, you know, that was blah 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 playing the bass on it, you know, early hip hop artists or almost like jazz artists, and almost like you brought that mix back in about live music. How did that part of your game come in? Like, you know, where you see so many people, you know, totally depending on kind of the digital aspect, you still are trying to find that live element, or just live musicians?
Yeah, I definitely stuck my toe in it, just in the water, just to try it. I know production is probably, I've told a couple people this, but production is probably one of my favorite parts. Like after the song's done, like I'll record my songs, lay my songs down, he'll mix them, go back. I I'll let some time go past. I hear some stuff I don't like, hear some stuff I want to add. We do that. Boom. So I had some ideas. I was like, yo, people haven't really done this, especially on a rap song. Like added like guitar solos, like on a R&B song, or even like saxophones that we'll get into later. But I know on my next that I'll do a lot more of that. But I just wanted to try it out and see how it went. And I think I know that I love the production aspect of everything. So I'll continue to do that as time go by in different aspects, really building on production. But we just started it out. So I'm excited. I feel like you said, it's not a lot of that now, especially on rap songs, hip hop, that type stuff. So maybe on people who like really lyrical and really rapping, they have a lot of instruments. But you don't really hear that. It's a lot of the pad going on.
Yeah, I know. I've been, my early days, I DJing and things like that, and I've always had this element for music. But I love people who are not afraid to be different and add something that's not here. If you were to describe yourself as an artist, how would you describe yourself?
I would describe myself how I am personally. How I am cool, calm, smooth, collected. Lots of people have told me like, you so smooth, you just ride the beat for real. It's smooth on. I can change it up. You'll hear that on the album. But like I would describe it how I am as a person. I don't change too much for no music. I do it. I think I'm me. So real smooth, calm. Calm in certain ways, but collected still. But yeah, I would describe myself as an artist in a way that I like the way that I like a lot of artists. I like my music how I like it.
What you looked at, said N.E.L. I said N.E.L standing for something, because people have given you got all kinds of nicknames growing up, and I've heard it, but what does N.E.L stand for, as as you become this artist? When people look at that, what does N.E.L stand for?
I got a lot of nicknames on every side of my I know our side of the family, I grew up as Nelly, and but as I got into growing up, everybody just started calling me N.E.L. Just abbreviate my name, Chanel. Everybody just started calling me N.E.L. Basketball world, outside, my friends, stuff like that. I ain't gonna lie, when people come up to me that I don't know call me that, I'd be like, but I'm kind of used to it though. But yeah, so it came about though. Me and my brother, almost a year ago, me and my brother was we were sitting at the table, and I just had N.E.L as my name. Because I was like, well, everybody call me N.E.L, I'm just gonna go by N.E.L. And he was like, you should come up with an abbreviation for your name. Like an acronym, not an acronym for your name. And that'll make it even better. So we sitting at the table, we just thinking what could go. Excuse me. And if you used to talk to my brother, this is how he would say it. Like he's giving me challenges, he challenges me all the time. Even my mom says it. She's like, challenges were never anything for you. If you had a challenge, you were determined to get past the challenge. Yep. My brother, he throws all these these writing challenges at me, these life challenges at me, and I always exceed them. Or I'm always determined to exceed them. I'm gonna do whatever I can to. So, and he's always been amazed by that. So I'm sitting at the table, and I was like, naturally exceeding limits. Because it's natural for me to just want to exceed and challenge, but to go over and above on challenges that I'm really, really interested in. Like, oh, I'm gonna get this, like, you know what I'm saying? So naturally exceeding limits, because it's natural. It's just me, and limits are never anything for me. Like, limits don't mean anything. Limits are what you put in yourself, not what the world put on you.
Yes. Yes, yes. So I love what you talked about that. Another part that you talked about earlier is, you know, your other love is basketball. And I've watched you grow in the game. Um, you played for an amazing program at McEachern High School in Atlanta, where y'all did nothing. My nickname for you was Champ, right? Right. I would call you when I call you because y'all did nothing but win championships. And you started in backcourt with one of our a WNBA player,
Mhm.
like as a first as a freshman in high school. And so basketball is something that has been equally a part of your life. How has your progression as an athlete helped you in your journey in music?
When it comes to working as a team, it shows me a lot of things. Like you gotta have a team around you. You
Mm,
can't do everything by yourself. I know with this project, I've done a lot of things on my own, um, getting everything done.
mm,
And it really showed me like you really need a team. Like even with basketball, um, you can't just win by yourself.
mm,
You need the other 4 players, even you need the other 10 or 11 players on the bench. It's the little things. Everybody has a role.
mm.
Everything happens. So say you on the court, you got your 5 people that's out there. Yeah, they playing, but maybe that person on the bench, you need that high five because that could orchestrate something that could build something. You're like, oh, my team got me. Boom. Like everything happens for a reason, and it happens
Yep,
in its divine order. So you need that. You may need that high five to make that next layup because get that
that's right.
confidence. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Because your
right.
teammate pushed you even though they was on the bench.
That's right.
Just like just to make that an analogy to music, you need a team, people around you to help you through. Like even as an artist, I can be an artist, but sometimes you don't want to be everything.
Yes.
And so creating a team, you're able to really focus on your role and do your role 100%.
Mm, mm, mm. And I think the other thing I've noticed about it is that, and particularly, being a Division I athlete requires, you to manage time and to really be focused. Um, I've been surprised how quick this project came together for you. And during a time when it's been very difficult with pandemics and everything else you have to navigate in life, especially a lot of young folks, y'all, in my work. And you have this focus that has allowed you to do it in ways that most people don't have that level of focus. I always told people, you know, everybody wants to be in the music business, but when you think about people like Tupac, I remember walking out of Paisley Park Studios when I was in, I think it might have been, one of the major weekends, and he had been performing, and it was 3 o'clock in the morning. He was on his way to the studio, and so there is a dedication that Pac had to the craft that a lot of folks, don't have. Do you think that gives you an advantage because of just the rigorous nature it takes to be a Division I athlete?
Yeah, because I also think as an athlete, like at one point in time, it was instilled to always be in the gym.
Yep.
You love it.
Yep.
And nothing really like when you love it, it's like you don't really have a mindset of like, oh, I gotta go to the gym.
Mm,
When you lose that,
mm,
and you start seeing like how much time you put in when you did love it. And when you
mm,
did, like you start seeing like how like you never thought about the fact like, oh, I'm in the gym all day
mm,
because I love it, because I want
mm.
to get better.
Yes.
Because you know what I'm saying? You don't think about that when you have that tie to it.
Mm,
When that tie gets broken, it's just like you start seeing everything. It's like, wow, I put this much time, I put this much time.
mm.
My story is, for another time, but that's just how it is. And so with music, yeah, popping there at 3 o'clock because he loved it.
Yep.
He just loved doing music. He want to get better. He want to impact the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like he not thinking about, oh, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, I need to be asleep. He not thinking about that.
No.
You know what I'm saying? He's not tired the next day because he felt like, oh, I just got better, so I'm good. I'm rejuvenated because I just came over with some heat already.
Yes. Yes.
So I mean,
oh, go
we
ahead. Go
really
ahead.
love it. Like that's like with music now. Like I'm starting to. You got that worth ethic. That's like that work ethic. That's like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
You don't think about those things.
Yep.
You
Yep.
don't think about the doubts and all the negative stuff that come along with it.
In a world of streaming music, you and I have talked a little bit about this. What's the concept behind your album? I heard Migos, they were on they were on the show last week, opening football weekend, and I think it was no. Actually, it was Bootsy said this. I think it might have been Bootsy. Somebody said they wanted a platinum album. Someone said this, and someone was saying like, well, this is kind of a streaming space, and he's like, it's just a goal. There's a goal to this, and I feel like one of the things about you is that you went old school about the conceptual album. Like one of the things you're like listening from the beginning to the end in a world of streaming music. Talk about the concept behind this album, because we don't do enough of that those kind of conversations now. People they download a song, and people talk about 1 million downloads for a song, but we've lost the concept of the album. Can you talk about the concept of this album?
Yeah, of course. So, album is called The Golden Child Mindset, and I just start. All my life, I've kind of had that kind of, I wouldn't even say role I put myself in. I would just say other people put me in, because people seen a light in me before I seen the light in myself. People seen a light in me. People saw that I was special. But at that time, it was basketball. At that time, I was like I was always doing well in school, doing well with basketball, doing well in everything I did. I could do a lot of things. I had a lot of things under my belt. But then when it started getting better and better and better, and I start getting, because it took me a minute, I'm not gonna lie, with basketball, I had to learn how to actually play structured basketball. And when it got there and I started getting the hang of it, then expectations started hitting me that I didn't ask for, that I never really asked for. And so then in their eyes, I gotta do that to be golden. Like I gotta be that to, like, I'm that golden child. Golden childs they're always having to meet expectations and all that pressure, and then have that feeling inside, like I don't want to disappoint. That's been me all my life. Now I wanted to do certain things for myself because I would be disappointing somebody else. Always putting other people first so that they are happy, sacrificing my happiness. And so, not saying being a golden child is a bad thing, but I can be golden in my own value.
That's right.
So like, I may not be golden in your eyes, but in my eyes, I'm still golden.
That's right.
You feel me? So like, that's kind of the backstory on that. And to keep going, so the way I tell people, like Shades of Blue, my EP that I dropped last December, was like the story of my depression. And it wasn't even the whole story, it was just a snapshot of it. And then like now this is like a whole album of how I'm breaking through, and you can really feel the enhancements. You can really feel how I'm breaking through. I sound different. I sound way more confident. I really got, me and the mic really had our alone time. I was able to really speak how I wanted to speak.
Yes.
Yeah, so this album, like, once people listen to it all the way through, because it's conceptual all the way through, they'll feel, everything about it. Like they'll feel everything I felt, most likely. That's, you know.
Well, I love the way you talk about that because, a lot of people, and what I, loved about your EP is that, you can feel the struggle in terms of how on the journey you're on. And, one of the things that artists can do is give people permission to reflect on that, right? What role and responsibility do you sometimes feel to like shed light in the world to give other people the light to step out? Is that, I know that's something that's always, it's part of that golden child thing. It's also part of being a visible athlete, where, sometimes when you are able to shed light on something, it gives someone else permission, a young person permission to step into that light when they've been struggling, to know that there is a pathway forward. How much of that is part of your journey?
Well,
Or are you still trying to figure it out? That's
well,
okay.
nah. So like, I didn't know how relatable it could be. Like, I know, like, when I listen to music and I listen to certain artists, I'm like, I can relate to this. Like, if you're going through something with a relationship, you can relate to like a lot of R&B. You going through like a lot of, you know what I'm saying? I felt like I didn't know how relatable my music was gonna be, and I knew it was different. I knew it wasn't really what everything else sound like in the world. The fact that I'm like really rapping and like it just didn't sound like anything to me, at least. Everybody else has said that like we need more of this, but I didn't understand. I didn't see how relatable it could be until music came out, and they were like, everybody was like, "Oh my God, I can relate to this. Oh my, I'm always listening to this because I'm going through the same thing." Stuff like that, especially with certain songs. I was like, some people might not like this song, but they loved it. And so it was that, and I feel like with the Golden Child, people are going to get those same people who went through that same thing with me that could relate to that same thing, hopefully are going to go through this journey with me as well and could relate to this. I just want to be able to inspire and impact people at the highest level. And so if I can not like forcefully, but on my own time, on their own time, being able to impact people and inspire in general is something that I want to do, because I know a lot of people that were like me, that felt alone, that felt lonely in certain ways, and just wanting them to know that they're not going through that process alone, because hey, you got somebody like me who went through the same thing and can sympathize with you. May not be your same situation, but I probably could empathize with you too, and just, go through the journey with you. It's just the fact that I make music, and music has gotten me out of a lot of places, not just my music, but other people's music has gotten me like, okay, it's gonna be better. Or, yeah, I really feel you. Like, I feel the same thing you do, and you a celebrity on top. I think a lot of people forget, like, celebrities are people. Like, I don't think so much now, but like at the time, people was forgetting, like, celebrities is like, they're people. Like, they got lives just like us. It's just the fact that there's being pictures taken, they got videos, they got the shade room all in their business. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just the only difference. They going through the same everyday problems as we are. They just got money. I will say money does bring happiness, but in a lot of ways, it brings them a lot of problems. So
I said Biggie was right. More money, more problems. You get, because right. It, people. I always tell folks there's a direct correlation between happiest money ends at $50,000. Statistically, it's been researched about that, and so whatever you're doing, it's got to be about the work and the passion. It can't be about the money. And I think that's exemplified by artists who really lean into this the right way, and it shows that this is a road that you're on. If you had to identify, one or two songs that kind of really speak to the essence of this album. You know, they all are kind of connected, but you know, every artist I've talked to, they got one on that album that just, or two on that album that just are the ones that just make them smile when they refer back to the album. What are one or two that just gave you the sense that this is where the breakthrough is happening?
Well, it's a song. I think my favorite song has always like changed. Every time I came up with a new song, I was like, oh, it's my song. But once I got the full body, I think one song that has always been my favorite song, like since I wrote it, because it was one of the first songs I wrote for the album at the top of the year. And so it's called All on Me.
Oh, that's my song.
Let you listen to that one. Yeah.
Oh, you know that's
on the album.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's called the All on Me is probably my all-time favorite song on the album. That's one. Mainly that's featuring my uncle, my dad's brother.
Yeah.
As his dad, my uncle Packy. Uncle P, that's how I got it on the album. Now him, and then featuring Elias, my good person I met, great person I met. He's in a band, and I met him through this guy named Peyton. He plays the saxophone. He's on my other favorite song called Can I Live. Can I Live is probably my other favorite song just because of I think the production just gets you, like, it starts off like great because of Peyton. Like I met Elias through Peyton because they're in the same band, Fat Pockets. But Peyton plays the saxophone like this is the only way I can describe it. Like he plays it like it's his last time playing. And he plays it all out. Like you're gonna see him on the ground, you're gonna see him like he like eyes closed, squint, like he playing it like because he love it. Like you can just tell the passion he has for playing the saxophone. So like I'm so glad that he took his time out to even, come on my record and play all out like he did. Like once you hear this, it's amazing. And then Elias, I just told him what I wanted, how I seen the song going. I was like, yo, I want you on the hook. I want you to have a solo. And on your solo, this is what I'm looking for in the sound. Do what you gotta do. I'm giving you full creative space to, play how you play. Because I've never heard him play before, by himself. Like, of course you can get stuff from Instagram and stuff like that, but I never really heard him play. And I was like, I'm giving you creative space. And he came back, he sent me his solo. I played it like 10 times better. Wow. I was like, oh my gosh. It was so like, it fit the song so well. And even like when I had my uncle hear it, he was like, oh yeah, he slid. So I'm just excited for everybody to hear that aspect of it. Elias is also on a song called One Day. And he really brought it to that song too. So I'm just I'm excited about that production though. So All on Me is probably my all-time favorite song on the album, probably. And Can I Live is probably my second one. But all of them, like over time, like when they, like all of them rock. Like I don't think you would get lost in that. I'm just excited for people to hear it and see how my whole process since January 1st, that's how long I've been working on the album. I was my writing process was from January to May. I didn't go into the studio until June. No, I didn't go into the studio till May. Till the beginning of May, I went into the studio. And so I'm just ready for everybody to see how the result of that process is a lot that went along with it.
Well, I tell you this, it's so good to have you here. You and I have been going back and forth, and just, you send me something and I listen to it. I just, and this is something really for, a lot of our listeners, and, this you know, the importance of this generational connection, intergenerational connection. There's a lot of value to it. I think, I've definitely loved that with my nieces. I've had that relationship. I think they feel like they can, and I don't know if it's because I work on a college campus and it's just something that's just natural to me, but there's so much you learn from those relationships. And I can say that, I've told you this. I mean, some of your songs have gotten me through. I commute and I listen to those. They in my catalog and when I'm trying to get my head right. And, and I think there's some value added to that process. And so I'm very proud of you, as your uncle and as someone who loves you and loves you. But, it takes a lot of courage to step out and try to do something. I talked to 200 students yesterday and, I've always told them, it's important for you to get what you came for. It's important for you to feel like you have moved something every day. Have you impacted somebody every day? And, I know those are kind of conversations, we try to have. And, I think your work is that kind of work that you are really not only just about you, but it's about, the impact you can have on others who have a chance to listen to your music. And we know it's going to drop, 12 a.m. September 3rd. Folks, if you're hearing this, if you after it, make sure you go and get it and listen to it. We're going to have part 2 of this interview with my man, the Game Changer. All y'all know him from Hustle and Flow. He's a former student athlete. He's a former MC. He's someone who loves music. So I know he's excited to get in here after we have a chance to he has a chance to dive into music and y'all can have a conversation. And so we'll be having that coming up for part 2. But let the folks know where they can connect with you on your social media or other things. So as folks want to stay connected with you, how can they stay connected to you?
All right. And before I do that, I do want to shed light on another feature.
Yes.
My guy Trey. I appreciate we came up with that song "Matter of Time." It's out right now.
That's my song too. That's in the catalog right now.
Those lately and "Matter of Time" are out now. They were the first 2 singles out. The videos out too, YouTube. But we came up with that song like a whole year ago. We've been sitting on that song. At least my first verse. And as time went along, we built the song, and it was like, we were sitting on this song for a whole year. So I'm just excited with the product that we can, like, it's finally out. He been on the journey with me, on the music journey, like, so I appreciate him also for jumping on that song with me, Matter of Time. Like, everybody love that song. I got so many like texts and DMs talking about people they working out to the song, and that song is like you can put it in any aspect of your life, for real. So people love that song, and then like Thoughts Lately, of course. The beat on that one's crazy. Yeah, but
those are 2 great ones. They in my catalog. I listen to them every morning right before I roll into campus. I got it on me, so I get my mind right.
Also, I got a surprise guest on there, homegirl Key. She said a couple words. She not on no song, but we need to get her on the song. So.
Oh yeah.
But she had a little few words in there. So just the people that's just been here with me,
Yeah.
And so, but on social media, on Instagram, you can follow me at the only N.E.L. The only N.E.L on Instagram, and then on Twitter is _N.E.L official. So those are my 2 social medias that you can follow me on. Add me on. You can also access my YouTube from there too.
And we definitely gonna keep pushing stuff there. I appreciate you being here. Rocking with me. I know you gotta get ready for class here in a little bit, but I'm gonna listen. You know me, I'm gonna listen to the entire album. We're gonna get back on this with my man Marcus, the Game Changer, and have a conversation about it. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this journey. I want to thank all of y'all for joining us on Real Sports Guys and RSG Live at the Lounge. Again, you can catch us at realsportsguys.com on all social media platforms. You can, make sure you hit this music, the Golden Child Mindset. Our recording artist N.E.L. It's the debut. She got the EP, but this is the studio album out here about to drop on it. I'm hyped. Like I said, the last person we had on this show was Fred Van Fleet, and you know what happened with that. That's why they call us the underground. That's why we call us the underground. We know before you know. We know before you know. I told you about Fred back there. Now I'm telling you about N.E.L. We know before you know. That's why we call us the underground, and we don't drop another one on you. See you on the
last thing I want to say, we got merch coming. These are just the black shirts.
Where's mine? I should have been wearing. Where's my shirt?
I got you. Send me your style.
Okay.
It's the black shirt. So we got black, white, and gold, and that merch is dropping when the album drops. So
hey, go get your merch. This is how we doing it. It's a family affair up in here. Like I said, we know before you know. We know before you know. That's right. RSG.
I like that.
RSG Live. Bye. On the other side. Peace.
All right.
To my mind, the patient way through this, the way they improving. It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time.
It's only a matter of time before we grab this light. Been in the jungle too long. I